Joseph Murphy, one of the greatest spiritual teachers of the 20th century, discovered something remarkable about the nature of abundance. He found that true prosperity doesn't respond to physical effort nearly as much as it responds to the vibration of our words. The language we use literally programs the frequency we broadcast to the universe, and the universe, ever faithful, can only return to us what we're transmitting. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance while others struggle despite working twice as hard? What if I told you that the difference between struggle and flow might come down to just 3 simple words? 3 words so powerful they could completely transform your relationship with prosperity, opportunity, and peace of mind. Has this ever happened to you? You've done everything right, worked the long hours, followed all the advice, created vision boards, set goals, yet somehow the abundance you're seeking remains frustratingly out of reach. You're not alone. Millions of people worldwide are caught in this exact same pattern, chasing prosperity with their hands when they should be summoning it with their voice. The truth is, most of us have been taught to believe that abundance comes through physical effort, through pushing, grinding, and sometimes even suffering. We've internalized the idea that if we're not exhausted, we're not doing enough to deserve prosperity. But what if I told you that this fundamental approach is precisely what's blocking the flow of abundance into your life? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to share might completely revolutionize your understanding of how abundance actually works. You might discover that you've been standing inches away from a flood of prosperity all along, separated only by the thin veil of 3 specific words you haven't been using correctly. Think about it. What if the reason abundance seems to flow so easily to some people isn't because they're luckier or more talented or more deserving? What if it's simply because they're speaking a language that abundance understands and responds to? A language that aligns them with the natural flow of universal energy rather than pushing against it. I remember when I first encountered this concept. I was working 60-hour weeks, constantly stressed, always chasing the next opportunity, the next client, the next paycheck. No matter how hard I worked, I always felt like I was running on a hamster wheel, never quite reaching that place of true financial freedom and peace. What you're about to discover might surprise you as much as it surprised me when I realized I'd been approaching the whole concept of abundance backward. The good news is that this language of abundance isn't complicated or difficult to learn. In fact, it centers around just 3 simple words that you already know, but perhaps haven't been using with the conscious intention and emotional power they require. 3 words that, when properly understood and consistently applied, have the capacity to shift your entire relationship with prosperity overnight. Are you ready to discover what these 3 words are and how they can transform your reality from scarcity to abundance? The journey we're about to embark on isn't just about financial prosperity. It's about creating a life where opportunities, love, health, and peace flow to you with effortless ease. If these abundance principles resonated with you, hit that subscribe button to join our prosperity community. You see, there's a profound hidden truth that most people miss when they look at someone else's success. They see the outer manifestation, the dream house, the thriving business, the perfect relationship, and they think, the universe must love them more than me. They carry this belief that abundance is distributed unfairly, that some people are just born under luckier stars. But that's not how the universal laws operate. The universe doesn't play favorites, it responds to frequencies. Think of it as a cosmic mirror, perfectly reflecting back whatever signal you're broadcasting. This isn't some mystical concept, it's actually a fundamental principle that shapes our entire reality. The journey to understanding this truth represents one of the most significant mindset transformations you can experience. Because once you realize that others aren't receiving more simply because the universe likes them better, you become empowered. You recognize that the only difference between their abundance and your struggle is the language you're both speaking. And this language isn't English or Spanish or Mandarin. It's the language of energy. It's a frequency composed of your thoughts, feelings, expectations, and most importantly, your words. Every word you speak carries a vibrational impact far beyond its dictionary definition. When Joseph Murphy discovered this, it revolutionized his understanding of how manifestation actually works. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring what abundance truly is. Most people have a fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of abundance. They believe abundance is something external that appears when you finally land that job, receive that inheritance, or win that contract. But abundance isn't an event or a circumstance, it's a frequency. Imagine abundance as a radio station that's broadcasting 24/7. It's always playing beautiful music, the music of opportunities, resources, and creative solutions. But if your personal receiver is tuned to a different station, the scarcity station, you'll never hear abundance's melody, no matter how loud you turn up the volume. This revelation completely shifts how we approach creating prosperity in our lives. Instead of chasing abundance through external actions, the real work happens internally. It's about adjusting your frequency through the powerful trinity of trust, peace, and openness. When you vibrate at this level, you become a living magnet that naturally draws wealth, health, and love toward you. The decisions you make from this state of being carry an entirely different impact than those made from a place of lack or desperation. You begin to notice synchronicities appearing in your life. The right person calling at just the right moment, unexpected opportunities arriving precisely when you need them, resources showing up in ways you couldn't have planned. This isn't coincidence. It's the natural outcome of aligning yourself with abundance's frequency. Your words play a crucial role in this alignment process, which is why the three words we're about to explore hold such transformative power. They act as precise frequency modulators, allowing you to broadcast on abundance's exact wavelength. Have you noticed moments in your own life when everything seemed to flow effortlessly? Write flow state in the comments if you've ever experienced those magical periods when doors opened without pushing, when the right people appeared without searching, when solutions arrived without struggling. Those flow state moments reveal a profound truth about how your personal broadcast system works. Here's the revelation that changed everything for me. Most people are unknowingly broadcasting on the wrong frequency. They wake up and immediately begin transmitting signals of scarcity, fear, and doubt into the universe. I don't have enough time. I'll never get out of debt. Why does everything always go wrong for me? And then they wonder why they keep attracting more situations that confirm these very beliefs. It's like setting your radio dial to 88.7 FM, the negativity channel, and then feeling confused when you don't hear the beautiful music playing on 98.3 FM, the abundance station. Your life experience is essentially a feedback loop responding to the frequency you're broadcasting. Behind the scenes of your reality, this process operates with absolute precision. The universe doesn't judge your broadcast, it simply matches it. When your internal dialogue is dominated by worry, lack, and limitation, you're literally programming your experience to reflect those qualities back to you. This isn't punishment. It's the natural function of universal law. The journey toward transforming this pattern begins with recognizing the power of your broadcast. Every thought, every emotion, and especially every word you speak is sending ripples of energy into the field of infinite possibilities surrounding you. Your words aren't just sounds, they're creative forces shaping your reality in real time. This brings us to the first of our three powerful words, thank you. Now you might be thinking, that's it? Gratitude is the big secret. But there's a profound mindset distinction that most people miss when it comes to gratitude. They view it as a response to receiving something good, rather than understanding it's actually the catalyst that creates the good in the first place. Gratitude is the master key that unlocks every closed door in your life, because it immediately shifts your vibration from lack to abundance. When you say thank you before the blessing arrives, you're making a powerful, energetic declaration. You're essentially telling the universe, I trust so completely in your process that I'm grateful now for what I know is already mine. The hidden truth is that most people have the sequence backward. They think, when good things happen, then I'll be grateful. But the universal law operates in reverse. When I'm genuinely grateful, then good things happen. This single perspective shift creates an immediate impact on your ability to attract prosperity. Think about the difference in how it feels when you say, I want more money, versus, thank you for the abundance flowing to me now. The first statement broadcasts lack. It tells the universe, I don't have enough. The second broadcasts completion and appreciation. It aligns you with the frequency where abundance already exists. The revelations continue to unfold when you begin practicing preemptive gratitude. Rather than waiting for circumstances to change before you feel thankful, you're flipping the energetic switch through the power of these two simple words. If you've experienced the power of gratitude in your own life, type grateful now in the comments below. Think of gratitude as a spiritual magnet. The more genuinely you express it, the stronger its pull becomes on everything you desire. This phenomenon operates through a profound psychological principle that we experience in human relationships every day. When someone thanks you sincerely for something you've done, don't you naturally feel more inclined to help them again? There's an authentic connection that forms. A bridge of appreciation that makes you want to continue being generous toward that person. The universe works in exactly the same way. Every heartfelt thank you creates an energetic signature that signals readiness to receive more. It's like placing an order with the cosmic kitchen. Your gratitude becomes the receipt that shows you're prepared for delivery. Joseph Murphy discovered this magnetic quality of gratitude through countless case studies where individuals transformed their circumstances simply by shifting into appreciation before any external change had occurred. The essence of this magnetism isn't just conceptual, it's a practical power that reshapes your daily experience. Behind every breakthrough, there's often a pattern of consistent gratitude that preceded it. This creates a momentum in your energetic field that continues to attract similar experiences, establishing a positive feedback loop of abundance. Now, let's illuminate another crucial aspect of this principle that most seekers overlook. There's a fundamental misconception about when and how gratitude should be expressed. Most people reserve their thank you for the highlight reel of their lives, the promotion, the windfall, the dream house. They treat gratitude as a special occasion response rather than a constant state of being. But here's the paradigm shift that creates extraordinary results. Abundance doesn't respond to your occasional bursts of appreciation. It aligns with your baseline frequency. Your everyday attitude becomes the broadcast signal that abundance recognizes and matches. This is why two people can experience the same lucky break, but have completely different outcomes afterward. One sees it as a rare exception to their struggle-filled life, while the other views it as a natural confirmation of the abundant universe they already recognize. The journey toward mastery begins when you start saying thank you for the ordinary miracles that fill your days. The air in your lungs, the bed you sleep in, the water from your tap, the sunlight through your window. These seemingly small appreciations create a radical transformation in your vibrational signature. They tune your personal frequency to the channel where abundance naturally flows. Think of the most fortunate people you know. If you could see their internal dialogue, you'd likely discover they maintain an attitude of appreciation that operates independently of circumstances. They've learned to identify the blessings in both victories and challenges, recognizing that gratitude isn't just a response to good fortune, it's the causative force behind it. The insights that emerge when you practice this level of awareness can be life-changing. You begin to notice that the quality of your gratitude directly impacts the quality of your manifestations. Shallow, obligatory thanks produce limited results, while deep, feeling-infused appreciation creates profound shifts in your reality. When was the last time you felt genuinely thankful for something simple? Type everyday miracle if you've noticed the power of appreciating life's ordinary blessings. Let's explore a profound secret to elevating your gratitude practice that creates almost immediate shifts in your reality. The breakthrough comes when you expand your appreciation beyond the obvious blessings and begin giving thanks for literally everything. Your breath, the food on your plate, the roof over your head, and yes, even the lessons hidden within your challenges. Don't miss any of our transformational content. Subscribe now and begin your abundance journey today. This perspective revolution completely transforms your relationship with abundance. When you start finding reasons to be grateful within difficult situations, saying, "Thank you for this lesson," instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" you activate a remarkable alchemy. The universe responds to this elevated consciousness by bringing your external reality into alignment with this new vibration. There's a fascinating pattern I've witnessed in the lives of those who master this practice. The more consistently they thank the small things, the more reliably the big things begin lining up. It's as if expressing gratitude for the seemingly insignificant blessings creates an energetic pathway through which larger manifestations can flow. By appreciating what might appear ordinary, you're actually calibrating your awareness to recognize abundance in all its forms. The catalyst for transformation occurs when you realize that gratitude isn't just something you do, it becomes who you are. Every thank you reinforces your identity as someone who lives in a generous, supportive universe rather than a harsh, withholding one. This identity shift creates ripple effects throughout your entire experience. Now let me share a simple yet powerful ritual that anchors this consciousness into your daily life. The decision to implement this practice has created remarkable turnarounds for countless people on their abundance journey. Each morning, before you touch your phone or start scrolling through your mental to-do list, pause and express genuine gratitude for 3 specific things. The brilliance of this practice lies in its simplicity. Don't overthink it. You're warm. My bed, your beating heart, the gift of another day. What makes this ritual so impactful is its timing. Those first few moments of consciousness set the tone for your entire day. By consciously choosing gratitude as your first mental activity, you're essentially programming your subconscious to seek evidence of abundance throughout your day. This morning mindset ritual creates an immediate vibrational shift that influences everything that follows. Rather than waking up directly into worry, planning, or information consumption, you're intentionally calibrating your frequency to abundance before engaging with the world. The revelation many discover is that those few minutes of focused appreciation create a protective field that helps maintain higher vibrations even amid challenges. Behind the scenes of this practice is a powerful neurological process. You're actually creating new neural pathways that become stronger with repetition. Eventually, gratitude becomes your default setting. Rather than something you need to remember to do, your brain begins automatically scanning for blessings rather than problems, completely reshaping your perception of reality. If you're willing to commit to this simple yet profound practice for the next 7 days, type "morning gratitude" in the comments as your personal declaration of intent. Now, let's explore the second powerful word that forms the trinity of abundance language: I am. These two small words carry an almost unimaginable creative potency that most people completely overlook. The revelation that transformed my understanding was discovering that every time you say "I am," you're not just making a casual statement. You're giving the universe a direct command that it must obey. This isn't mystical thinking. It's actually aligned with how our consciousness creates our reality. Joseph Murphy uncovered this profound truth through years of studying both ancient wisdom traditions and quantum physics. The impact of these two simple words extends far beyond what most people realize, because they form the foundation of your self-concept, which in turn shapes everything you experience. Think about what typically follows your "I am" statements throughout the day. I am tired. I am broke. I am overwhelmed. I am not good at this. Each of these declarations isn't just describing your current state. It's actually programming your future experiences. The universe, ever faithful to your commands, simply responds, "as you wish." This hidden truth reveals why some people remain stuck in cycles of limitation despite all their efforts to change their circumstances. They're constantly reinforcing the very conditions they want to escape through their unconscious "I am" declarations. The transformation begins when you recognize these words as the creative force they truly are. When you understand the genuine power of "I am," you begin treating it with the reverence it deserves. It becomes sacred speech, language you use with full awareness and intention rather than casual carelessness. Behind the scenes of your reality creation process, these words are literally shaping your identity, which then determines what experiences can enter your life. Every time you attach a word to "I am," you're planting a seed in the fertile soil of your consciousness. And just like any seed planted in actual soil, it doesn't matter whether you intended to plant it or not. It will grow and eventually produce a harvest. The revelations continue to unfold when you realize that your life today is largely the result of seeds you've been unconsciously planting through your habitual "I am" statements. The most profound mindset shift occurs when you begin consciously choosing what follows "I am," rather than allowing it to be a reactive reflection of temporary circumstances. This is where your journey toward abundance accelerates dramatically. Instead of saying, "I am struggling financially," you might declare, "I am a money magnet." Instead of "I'm always getting sick," you could affirm, "I am radiantly healthy." Some people dismiss this practice as "fake it till you make it," but that fundamentally misunderstands the mechanism at work. You're not pretending or lying to yourself. You're actually speaking from a higher level of truth. You're declaring your spiritual identity rather than your temporary circumstances. Have you noticed how powerful your "I am" statements are in your own life? Type "I am powerful." If you've experienced the creative force of these two words, the deeper revelation comes when you understand exactly how these "I am" statements work behind the scenes of your consciousness. Your mind is divided into two distinct operating systems: the conscious mind, which analyzes, judges, and makes decisions, and the subconscious mind, which accepts and executes instructions without question. This is where the true transformation happens. Your subconscious doesn't have the capacity to argue or reject what you tell it. It simply obeys. When you declare "I am wealthy" or "I am struggling," your subconscious accepts these statements as commands to be fulfilled. It doesn't care whether these declarations align with your current circumstances. It doesn't evaluate whether they're realistic based on your past. It simply begins reorganizing your perceptions, choices, and actions to make these statements your reality. The words that follow "I am" literally become your self-image, and your self-image determines what experiences can enter your life. This insight reveals why affirmations aren't just positive thinking, they're actually identity engineering. Every time you make an "I am" declaration, you're either reinforcing your current self-concept or building a new one. The catalyst for breakthrough comes from understanding this process works in both directions. If negative "I am" statements create limiting experiences, then positive ones must create expansive experiences. This isn't wishful thinking. It's working with the psychological architecture of your mind. Joseph Murphy discovered that people who consistently practice conscious "I am" statements experience dramatic shifts in their circumstances, often in ways that seem miraculous to outside observers. Now, let's explore a practical application that creates immediate shifts in your abundance frequency. The journey begins with a simple awareness practice, monitoring your self-talk. Throughout your day, start catching yourself whenever you make negative declarations. "I can't afford that. I'm not good at managing money. I'm always overlooked for opportunities." The moment you notice these limiting statements, pause and intentionally transform them. Turn "I can't" into "I can." Shift "I'm afraid" into "I'm courageous." Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I'm more than enough." This might seem like a small adjustment, but it represents a profound disruption of patterns that may have been running for decades. The milestone on your path occurs when you realize you've been unconsciously programming limitation into your life through careless speech. Every "I can't" has been a command to your subconscious to create evidence of your inability. Every "I'm broke" has been an instruction to manifest financial scarcity. The revelations continue when you recognize that changing these statements isn't just positive thinking, it's literally reprogramming the operating system of your reality. Behind the scenes of this practice is a fascinating neurological process. Each time you catch and correct a negative statement, you're actually interrupting an established neural pathway and beginning to create a new one. With consistent practice, these new pathways become stronger until they're your default mode of thinking. Have you noticed yourself making negative "I am" statements throughout your day? Type "conscious speech" if you're ready to transform how you use these powerful words. Now let's explore the third and final word that completes this powerful trinity of abundance language. Yes. If "thank you" opens the door and "I am" creates the identity, then yes is what allows abundance to actually cross the threshold and enter your life. This revelation transformed my understanding of why some people remain stuck despite their gratitude practices and affirmations. The hidden truth is that many people are unconsciously blocking abundance because they're saying no energetically, not verbally, but through their resistance, doubt, fear, and hesitation. Every time you worry about how something will work out, every time you question whether you deserve success, every time you hesitate to take inspired action, you're essentially telling abundance, "Thanks for knocking, but I'm not ready to let you in." This insight reveals one of the most significant barriers on the path to prosperity. Your conscious mind might be saying, "I want abundance," but your energetic signature might be broadcasting, "I'm afraid of change," or "I don't trust good things to last." This misalignment creates a frustrating pattern where opportunities appear, but somehow never fully materialize in your life. The journey toward transformation begins when you recognize that saying yes doesn't mean agreeing to everything people demand of you. This is a crucial distinction that creates immediate freedom in your practice. Saying yes in this context means embracing life itself. Saying yes to possibilities, yes to growth, yes to expansion of your consciousness. It means developing the mindset that says, "Yes, I believe something good is happening right now, even when I can't see evidence of it yet. This perspective shift represents one of the most powerful decisions you can make on your abundance journey. When you say yes to life, you're signaling a fundamental trust in the unfolding process of your existence. Behind the scenes of this practice is a profound psychological principle. Saying yes creates an openness in your nervous system, literally relaxing tension and resistance in your body and mind. This state of receptivity allows inspirations, opportunities, and resources to flow to you that simply cannot reach you when you're in a contracted state of fear or doubt. The revelations continue when you realize that saying yes to life doesn't mean you never experience challenges. Rather, it means you approach those challenges with a fundamentally different energy. Instead of resisting them with, "Why is this happening to me?" you embrace them with, "What is this here to teach me?" This single shift completely transforms your relationship with obstacles. Joseph Murphy observed a fascinating pattern in the lives of highly prosperous individuals. They maintained an underlying yes energy, even during apparent setbacks. They seemed to intuitively understand that saying yes to the present moment, regardless of how it appeared, kept them aligned with the flow of abundance, rather than fighting against it. This milestone on your journey occurs when you realize that saying yes isn't just a technique, it becomes a way of being. It represents a fundamental trust in the benevolence of life and your place within it. Have you noticed how saying yes to unexpected opportunities has brought surprising blessings into your life? Type "open to yes" if you're ready to embrace this powerful state of receptivity. Now, let's put these three powerful words together into a practical, daily formula that creates immediate shifts in your abundance frequency. The transformation begins the moment you open your eyes each morning. Before your feet touch the floor, before your mind fills with your to-do list, start your day by saying, "Thank you." This single decision establishes your energetic foundation for everything that follows. Feel that gratitude expanding through your body as you acknowledge the gift of another day, another opportunity, another chance to align with the prosperity that's always been waiting for you. This morning gratitude practice essentially tunes your personal frequency to the abundance channel right from the start. As you move through your day, the journey continues with conscious awareness of your "I am" statements. Guard these words like the precious creative force they truly are. Each time you speak or think "I am," pause for a micro moment and choose what follows with intention. This mindfulness practice creates a powerful shift in your self-concept, which directly impacts what experiences can manifest in your reality. Then, when opportunities or challenges appear, as they inevitably will, whisper "yes." This might be the most revolutionary aspect of the formula, because it requires you to remain open and receptive even when circumstances don't match your expectations. Behind the scenes of this practice is a profound reordering of your relationship with uncertainty. The milestone discovery happens when you realize this isn't just a spiritual practice. It's actually a sophisticated system for reprogramming your nervous system, shifting your baseline frequency, and literally rewiring your brain's response patterns. What appears simple on the surface contains remarkable depth in its application. Now let's go deeper into understanding why the yes component creates such powerful results. When you say yes to life, especially during uncertain or challenging times, you're activating what Joseph Murphy called the faith bridge. This invisible but very real bridge connects where you currently stand with where you desire to be. The revelation that transforms your journey is recognizing that faith isn't blind belief. It's actually a form of knowing that transcends your physical senses. It's your willingness to trust in the unfolding process of your life, even when you don't understand it, even when it scares you, even when it seems to contradict your plans. This faith bridge operates as a literal pathway through which abundance can flow. Without it, you remain disconnected from the very prosperity you're seeking. The moment you whisper yes in the face of uncertainty, you're essentially building another section of that bridge, allowing universal intelligence to guide you toward outcomes far better than what your limited perspective could have planned. The insights continue to unfold when you recognize that every great achievement, discovery, or breakthrough in human history required someone to say yes before they could see the entire path. They stepped out onto the faith bridge with only enough light to see the next step, and somehow, miraculously, the path continued to appear beneath their feet. If you've ever experienced a moment where saying yes to something uncertain ultimately led to unexpected blessings in your life, type faith bridge in the comments below. Now I want to go even deeper into why these three words create such profound transformations by exploring the fascinating science behind them. What might surprise you is that these principles aren't just spiritual concepts, they're actually supported by cutting-edge research in fields ranging from neuroscience to quantum physics. Words don't just have metaphorical power, they carry actual vibration that affects both your internal state and the energy field around you. When scientists measure the heart patterns of someone expressing genuine gratitude, they observe what's called coherence, a harmonious, ordered pattern that positively affects everything from immune function to cognitive performance. This coherence literally creates a measurable electromagnetic field that extends beyond your physical body, influencing the energy systems around you. Thank you isn't just polite. It's a vibrational reset that brings your entire system into alignment. The revelations continue when examining how affirmations work on a neurological level. Brain imaging studies show that regularly practicing positive "I am" statements actually creates new neural pathways and strengthens specific brain regions associated with self-perception. You're literally rewiring your brain's architecture through consistent affirmative speech. This isn't wishful thinking, it's neuroplasticity in action. Perhaps most fascinating is what happens when you say yes to life. This simple word triggers the release of dopamine and serotonin, the same neurochemicals associated with pleasure, motivation, and well-being. Your brain's reward system activates, creating a biochemical state of receptivity and openness. Behind the scenes, your entire physiology shifts toward expansion rather than contraction. The science reveals a profound truth. These three words aren't magic tricks. They're precision tools for changing your biochemistry, neural pathways, and energetic signature. The transformation journey accelerates when you recognize that words matter not because of some mystical power, but because they literally change you from the inside out. When you shift your consistent language patterns, you're essentially shifting your energy from resistance to receptivity. Resistance creates tension, contraction, and limitation in both your mind and body. Receptivity creates openness, expansion, and possibility. This is why Joseph Murphy emphasized the importance of conscious speech as the foundation for conscious creation. The milestone insight arrives when you understand that your external experiences must change when your internal energy changes, not because of some cosmic reward system, but because your perception, decisions, and actions all flow from your dominant energy state. When you're broadcasting on the frequency of abundance rather than scarcity, you naturally begin noticing opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. This principle operates with scientific precision. The reticular activating system in your brain, essentially your perceptual filter, can only recognize what aligns with your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Change those thoughts through consistent language, and you literally begin perceiving a different reality. The world hasn't changed, but your ability to see its abundant nature has. Have you noticed shifts in your external reality after changing your internal dialogue? Type energy shift if you've experienced how changing your words can transform your world. Now I want to address a common misconception that prevents many people from experiencing the full power of these three words. I once met a man who told me, "I've been saying affirmations for years and nothing's changed." When I asked him to show me how he practiced them, he casually mumbled a few positive statements while scrolling through his phone. The revelation that transformed his results came when he understood that words alone aren't enough. It's the intention and presence behind them that activates their creative power. Think of affirmations like planting seeds. You wouldn't toss seeds onto unprepared soil while talking on the phone and expect a thriving garden, right? The same principle applies to your abundance declarations. They require your full attention and emotional engagement to take root in your subconscious mind. Behind the scenes of effective affirmation practice is a quality of presence that most people completely miss. When you speak these three powerful words, thank you, I am, and yes, bring your complete awareness to them. Feel them resonating in your body. Visualize them illuminating your mind. This level of intention creates an entirely different energetic signature than casually reciting positive phrases while multitasking. The impact of this mindful approach creates exponential results compared to mechanical repetition. The milestone insight that accelerates transformation appears when you understand the power of present tense speaking. Most people naturally talk about their desires in future tense. I will be wealthy. I will find love. I will succeed. But abundance exists in the eternal now, not in some distant future. Every time you push your desires into the future tense, you're actually programming delay into your manifestations. Joseph Murphy discovered this pattern through studying thousands of success stories. Those who experienced seemingly miraculous breakthroughs shared one common practice. They consistently spoke as if their desires were already fulfilled. I am wealthy instead of I will be wealthy. I am in perfect health rather than I'm going to get better. This isn't just positive thinking, it's aligning your vibration with the frequency where abundance already exists. The journey deepens when you recognize that the universe responds to the energy of completion, not the energy of wanting or needing. When you speak in present tense, you're essentially broadcasting on the same frequency as the abundance you're seeking. It's like tuning your radio to the exact station where the music you want to hear is already playing. This practice often triggers resistance initially because it seems to contradict your current circumstances. The breakthrough happens when you realize you're not denying reality. You're speaking from a higher level of truth that transcends temporary conditions. You're declaring your spiritual identity rather than your current situation. Behind the scenes of this practice is a fascinating psychological principle. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's physically present and what's vividly imagined with emotion. When you consistently speak in present tense with feeling and belief, you're essentially installing new programming that begins attracting corresponding experiences into your reality. Have you noticed the difference between half-hearted affirmations and those spoken with genuine feeling? Type present power if you've experienced the distinction between mechanical repetition and heartfelt declaration. Now I want to reveal what might be the most crucial element of this entire practice, something that transforms ordinary words into catalysts for genuine transformation. You see, it's not enough to merely speak these three words. You must feel them resonating throughout your entire being. Your emotions are the actual power source that gives your words life and makes them vibrate at a frequency the universe can respond to. Think of it this way: words without feeling are like unplugged electrical appliances. They have potential, but without the current of emotion flowing through them, they remain dormant and ineffective. When you infuse "thank you," "I am," and "yes" with genuine feeling, you're essentially plugging them into the universal power grid. Behind the scenes of effective manifestation is always this emotional component that most people completely overlook. Joseph Murphy observed this pattern consistently in his research. Those who experienced dramatic breakthroughs weren't just mechanically reciting affirmations. They were feeling the reality of those statements in their body, mind, and spirit. This emotional resonance creates a vibrational signature that's thousands of times more powerful than intellectual understanding alone. The revelation that transforms your practice comes when you recognize that your feelings are the bridge between your words and your experience. Every emotion has its own energetic frequency. Gratitude vibrates differently than resentment. Confidence resonates differently than doubt. When you consciously generate positive emotional states while speaking these three words, you're literally broadcasting on the frequency where abundance lives. Now, here's where many people encounter inner resistance. They think, but if I say I am wealthy when my bank account is empty, aren't I lying to myself? This mindset revelation completely shifted my journey. When you declare abundance despite lacking physical evidence, you're not being delusional. You're actually speaking from a higher truth that transcends temporary circumstances. This perspective shifts your entire relationship with reality. You begin to understand that there are multiple levels of truth operating simultaneously. Yes, on the physical plane, you might be experiencing limitation. But on the spiritual plane, the causal level where all manifestation begins, abundance is your natural state. By speaking from this higher truth, you're essentially calling your physical reality into alignment with your spiritual identity. The transformation accelerates when you realize you're not denying current challenges. You're simply refusing to grant them permanence or power over your consciousness. You're acknowledging that what you see around you is the result of past thinking, while what you declare now is creating your future experience. This distinction represents one of the most profound mindset shifts on the journey to prosperity. Behind the scenes of this practice is a quantum understanding of reality, the recognition that everything exists first as potential before manifesting as physical experience. Your emotionally charged words are literally collapsing quantum possibilities into tangible reality. Has this perspective on speaking a higher truth resonated with you? Type quantum shift if you're beginning to see how speaking from spiritual truth transcends current limitations. Now, I want to address a common frustration that appears on this journey. Many people tell me, I've been saying affirmations for months. Why isn't anything happening yet? This question reveals a fundamental misunderstanding about how manifestation actually works. The revelation that transformed my own practice came when I realized the universe doesn't operate on a time-based reward system. It's not keeping track of how many days you've been repeating affirmations or how many vision boards you've created. The hidden truth is that the universe responds not to persistence, but to resonance. It matches your vibrational alignment, not your effort or longevity. Think of it like tuning a radio. You don't need to turn the dial for weeks to find the right station. You simply need to align precisely with the frequency you're seeking, and the connection is instantaneous. Behind the scenes of rapid manifestation is always this principle of vibrational matching that transcends time. Joseph Murphy documented countless cases where people experienced seemingly miraculous breakthroughs after just days or even hours of practicing these principles, not because they were special or lucky, but because they achieved complete vibrational alignment. Their certainty was so unshakable that the universe simply mirrored it back to them with equal conviction. The transformation journey deepens when you understand that certainty is the catalyst for acceleration. When you speak these three powerful words with absolute knowing rather than hopeful wishing, you create an energetic signature that the universe must match. This isn't magical thinking, it's working with the precise mechanics of consciousness creation. Let's explore another crucial aspect of this practice that creates immediate shifts in your abundance frequency. Every word you speak carries a unique emotional signature that affects both your internal state and your external reality. The milestone insight occurs when you begin consciously analyzing your daily vocabulary to see whether it leans towards scarcity or abundance. Words like struggle, can't afford, impossible, difficult, and hard all carry vibrations of limitation and resistance. Words like flowing, abundant, effortless, thriving, and blessed resonate with prosperity and expansion. The revelation continues when you realize you have the power to consciously select your vocabulary rather than speaking habitually based on past patterns. This awareness practice becomes a powerful catalyst for transformation. Start noticing the emotional signature behind your most commonly used words and phrases. Ask yourself, does this language align with where I'm going, or does it keep me tethered to where I've been? The decisions you make about your everyday speech literally program the frequency you're broadcasting to the universe. Behind the scenes of this practice is a fascinating psychological principle. The words you consistently use actually shape your perception filters, determining what you notice in your environment. If your vocabulary is dominated by scarcity-based language, your brain will constantly scan for evidence of limitation. Shift to abundance-based language, and your perception naturally begins highlighting opportunities, resources, and blessings. Have you noticed how certain words seem to carry a positive charge while others feel heavy or draining? Type word power in the comments if you're becoming more conscious of the emotional signature behind your speech. Now I want to introduce a powerful enhancement that elevates your practice of these three words from merely effective to truly transformative. When you speak thank you, I am, and yes, simultaneously engage your visual imagination to create a vivid inner landscape that corresponds with these declarations. This multisensory approach activates neural pathways that simple verbal repetition alone cannot reach. Imagine what abundance would actually look like in your daily life as you speak these words. See yourself moving through your day with ease and prosperity flowing to you. Visualize what peace would sound like, perhaps the absence of worried thoughts, replaced by confident decision-making. Feel what joy would be like in your body, the lightness, the expansion, the vibrant energy coursing through you. The revelation that changed everything for me was discovering that visualization isn't just a nice add-on to verbal affirmations. It's actually creating a blueprint that your subconscious mind begins working to materialize. Behind the scenes of effective manifestation is always this marriage between clear language and vivid imagery that programs your perception to recognize matching opportunities in your environment. Joseph Murphy documented fascinating case studies of individuals who combined their verbal declarations with detailed visualization. What distinguished those who experienced rapid breakthroughs was the richness and emotional intensity of their mental imagery. They didn't just see vague pictures, they created complete sensory experiences that felt as real as physical reality. The insight deepens when you recognize that your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between something vividly imagined and something actually experienced. This psychological principle explains why visualization works with such precision. You're essentially creating synthetic memories that your brain processes as real experiences, priming your nervous system to recognize and attract corresponding circumstances. Now let's explore why emotional investment creates such exponential results when combined with these three powerful words. The universe responds not just to what you say or even what you visualize. It responds primarily to how you feel about what you're declaring. This emotional component is the actual fuel that powers your manifestations. The transformation journey accelerates dramatically when you learn to combine clear verbal declarations, vivid visualization, and genuine emotional investment. This trinity creates an energetic signature so powerful that the universe can't help but reflect it back to you in physical form. It's like broadcasting in high definition rather than standard format. The clarity of your signal determines the clarity of what returns to you. Behind the scenes of this practice is a fascinating process where your emotions are actually changing your biochemistry, altering your electromagnetic field, and sending clear instructions to universal intelligence about what experiences you're ready to receive. Every heartfelt thank you, emotionally charged I am, and deeply felt yes is essentially programming the quantum field that underlies all physical reality. The decisions you make about how much emotional energy to invest in your words literally determine their manifestation power. Half-hearted declarations create half-formed results, while full emotional commitment creates complete transformations. Have you noticed how much more powerful your words become when you fully feel what you're saying? Type fully committed if you're ready to bring complete emotional investment to your practice. Now, I want to share a profound insight that completely transformed my practice of these three powerful words. There's a subtle but critical distinction between mechanically saying positive statements and actually embodying them as your truth. When you declare, "I am limitless," there's a corresponding physical state that accompanies genuine belief. Your shoulders naturally relax, your breathing deepens, and your entire nervous system shifts into expansive mode. The revelation that accelerates results is learning to consciously create this physical state while speaking your affirmations. Don't just say, "I am limitless." Physically relax your body, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to actually feel what limitlessness would be like. Let that sensation of boundless possibility spread through your cells, your tissues, your entire being. This embodiment practice creates an entirely different energetic signature than mere verbal repetition. Behind the scenes of this approach is a profound mind-body connection. Your physical state and your consciousness are in constant communication, each influencing the other in a continuous feedback loop. When you intentionally shift your physical state to match your declarations, you're essentially tricking your subconscious into believing these statements are already true, even before external evidence appears. Joseph Murphy observed this pattern consistently among those who manifested with remarkable speed. They weren't just thinking positive thoughts, they were living in the physical and emotional states that corresponded with their desires. This congruence between their inner and outer expression created an irresistible magnetic pull that attracted matching circumstances with seemingly miraculous timing. The milestone insight appears when you recognize that you simply cannot attract what you don't emotionally believe in. This principle operates with absolute precision. If you're saying, "I am abundant," while feeling poor, the universe responds to your feeling, not your words. The journey toward mastery involves bringing these two aspects into alignment through consistent practice and awareness. Now let's address an important question that arises for many people. What if I can't actually believe these affirmations yet? Am I just supposed to fake it? The transformation begins when you realize belief isn't something you either have or don't have. It's a muscle that strengthens gradually through consistent exercise. You don't need to fake anything. You simply need to engage in practices that naturally build authentic belief over time. You can't fake belief, but you can absolutely build it through intentional daily choices. Every time you choose faith over fear, gratitude over complaint, possibility over limitation, you're strengthening your belief muscle. This development follows the same principles as physical training. Just as you wouldn't expect to lift 300 pounds on your first day at the gym, don't expect complete belief in your prosperity declarations immediately. The journey unfolds through consistent practice of these three powerful words. Each time you say thank you in the face of challenge, each time you declare, I am abundant, despite current limitations, each time you whisper yes to life despite uncertainty, you're building resilience in your spiritual muscles. Eventually, what once felt like a stretch becomes your natural stance. Has there been a time in your life when your belief in something grew stronger through consistent practice, even though it felt impossible at first? Type growing belief if you've experienced this strengthening of your faith muscle over time. Now, I want to address something that nobody talks about enough on this abundance journey: the inevitable days when everything feels impossible. There will be moments when, despite your best efforts with these three words, doubt comes crashing in like an unwanted visitor. Your bank account might hit a new low right after declaring abundance. A relationship might end after affirming connection. Your body might feel exhausted after claiming vibrant health. In these moments, the revelation that changed everything for me was recognizing that these challenging periods aren't signs of failure. They're actually proof that you're old. Patterns are fighting desperately to survive. Think of it as a transformational threshold. The darkest point in your journey often comes right before the breakthrough. Behind the scenes of every major life upgrade is this period of intense resistance, where your old identity battles against the new one you're creating. Joseph Murphy documented this pattern consistently in his case studies. Those who ultimately experienced the most dramatic transformations all went through periods of doubt and seeming setbacks. The difference between those who broke through and those who gave up was simply their response to these challenging moments. The journey toward mastery involves developing resilience when these inevitable phases appear. What's fascinating about this process is that it follows predictable psychological patterns. Your mind has spent years or decades operating with certain beliefs and neural pathways. When you begin rewiring those patterns through these three powerful words, your brain initially interprets this change as a threat to your survival. This triggers resistance, doubt, and even physical discomfort as your system adjusts to the new frequency you're establishing. Now, let's explore a practical technique for navigating these challenging periods. When doubt appears, and it will, the most effective response is to speak to your mind with calm, compassionate authority. The milestone insight comes when you realize you can actually separate yourself from your thoughts and address them directly, much like you would speak to a child having a tantrum. Imagine sitting with your doubtful thoughts and saying, I understand you're concerned. Thank you for trying to protect me. But I've decided to move in a new direction now. This approach acknowledges your mind's concerns without giving them power over your decisions. It's a form of inner dialogue that creates remarkable shifts in your consciousness. The revelation that transformed my own practice was discovering that this isn't about suppressing doubt or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about developing a new relationship with uncertainty, one where you can acknowledge concerns while remaining steadfastly committed to your higher vision. This balance of honesty and determination creates an authentic foundation for lasting transformation. Behind the scenes of this practice is a fascinating process where you're essentially rewiring your brain's response to uncertainty. Every time you respond to doubt with calm authority rather than fearful reaction, you're creating new neural pathways that eventually become your default response. The decisions you make in these challenging moments quite literally determine whether you break through to new levels of abundance or remain stuck in old patterns. What does your inner dialogue sound like when doubt appears? Type inner dialogue if you're committed to speaking to your mind with more compassion and authority. Now, I want to share something that might make You laugh, but also contains a profound truth about this abundance journey. Have you ever noticed a strange pattern? You start saying, "I am abundant," and suddenly your car battery dies. You declare, "Money flows easily to me," and boom, an unexpected bill arrives in the mail. You affirm, "My health is vibrant," and you wake up with a cold the next morning. It's almost as if the universe has a mischievous sense of humor, doesn't it? But here's the revelation that completely shifted my perspective. These challenging moments aren't punishment or proof that your affirmations aren't working. They're actually universal tests, designed to see if you're serious about maintaining this new vibration. Behind the scenes of these apparent setbacks is a profound opportunity to demonstrate your commitment to your new identity. Joseph Murphy observed this pattern consistently in his research. Those who successfully manifested major breakthroughs all faced what appeared to be direct contradictions to their affirmations shortly after beginning their practice. The difference between those who ultimately succeeded and those who gave up was their response to these tests. Did they abandon their practice at the first sign of challenge, or did they double down on their declarations despite contradictory evidence? The journey toward mastery involves recognizing these moments for what they truly are, opportunities to prove that you're serious about this transformation. It's as if the universe is asking, are you just playing with these principles, or are you genuinely committed to this new frequency? Your consistent response during these testing periods creates a momentum that eventually breaks through the threshold of resistance. Now, let's explore a simple yet powerful framework that brings all these elements together into a cohesive daily practice. I call it the speak, feel, act method. 3 steps as natural as breathing that create exponential results when practiced consistently. The milestone insight comes when you recognize that lasting transformation requires all 3 components working in harmony. Step 1 is to speak your 3 words as declarations rather than wishes. Feel the difference between "I hope I become abundant" and "I am abundant." The declarative stance immediately shifts your energy from passive to active, from wanting to embodying. This speaking component sets the initial vibrational template for what follows. Step 2 is to feel these words resonating through your entire being. Let your body join the conversation by experiencing the emotional signature of what you're declaring. Feel gratitude warming your heart. Feel confidence straightening your posture. Feel peace relaxing your shoulders. This feeling component is what transforms intellectual concepts into embodied experience. Step 3 is to align your actions with this new identity. This is where many people miss the mark. They speak and feel abundance, but continue making scarcity-based decisions. True transformation happens when your behavior begins reflecting your declarations, even in small ways. If you're affirming abundance, make choices as an abundant person would, even if they're minor adjustments to your current lifestyle. Have these universal tests shown up in your own life, challenging your new affirmations just when you've begun to practice them? Type testing times if you've noticed this fascinating pattern and are committed to passing these tests. With flying colors. Now I want to go even deeper into the act component of our practice, because this is where the rubber meets the road on your abundance journey. When you truly understand the power of these 3 words, you recognize that they must extend beyond your verbal declarations and emotional states into your tangible choices. If you're affirming abundance while living in a constant state of scarcity-based decisions, you're essentially sending mixed signals to the universe. Think about what it would mean to truly act in alignment with your declarations. If you've been saying, "I am abundant," what would an abundant person do differently in your everyday situations? Perhaps they would give more generously, even if it's just a slightly larger tip at a restaurant or an unexpected gift to a friend. Behind the scenes of your consciousness, each aligned action reinforces your new identity far more powerfully than words alone. The transformation accelerates when you apply this principle to all areas of your life. If you're affirming peace, it means making the conscious decision to stop entertaining chaos, perhaps declining drama-filled conversations or creating clearer boundaries in relationships that drain your energy. If you're declaring wealth, it means making choices as a wealthy person would, even in small ways, perhaps investing in quality over quantity or valuing your time differently. Joseph Murphy observed a fascinating pattern in his research. Those who experienced the most dramatic breakthroughs were individuals who made even tiny adjustments to their behavior that reflected their desired state. They didn't wait until they had more money to act abundantly. They found ways to embody abundance within their current circumstances, which created an energetic pathway for greater prosperity to flow. The revelation that changed everything for me was recognizing that these aligned actions don't need to be grand gestures. In fact, consistent small choices often create more powerful momentum than occasional big ones. Each time you act in alignment with your declarations, you're essentially proving to yourself and the universe that you're serious about this new frequency. These decisions become the living evidence of your transformation. Now let's explore a profound metaphor that completely reshapes how you think about your words. Imagine your mind as fertile soil, capable of growing whatever is planted within it. Every word you speak is a seed that, once planted, will eventually produce a corresponding harvest in your experience. The milestone insight arrives when you recognize that most people are unconsciously planting weeds of limitation, then wondering why their life's garden is overrun with stress and scarcity. When you declare, "I'm tired, this is impossible, I can't afford that," or "life is hard," you're literally planting seeds that must produce a matching harvest. It's not punishment. It's simply the law of growth, operating with perfect precision. Your words, especially those charged with emotion and repetition, become the blueprint for your future experiences. Have you noticed how certain phrases you repeatedly use seem to manifest in your reality? Type seed phrases if you're becoming more aware of the harvest your words are creating in your life. Now I want to address a critical misunderstanding about abundance that prevents many people from experiencing the full power of these three words. There's a common belief that abundance is primarily about money, that financial prosperity is the ultimate measure of successful manifestation. But this narrow definition actually blocks the full spectrum of abundance that's available to you. The revelation that completely transformed my relationship with prosperity was recognizing that true abundance is holistic. Money is only one expression of abundance, and sometimes not even the most important one. Real abundance means having time, freedom, inner peace, creative fulfillment, loving relationships, exciting opportunities, and vibrant energy flowing through every area of your life. This perspective shift creates an immediate expansion in your manifestation practice. You might be focused on attracting more money while completely overlooking the time abundance already present in your life. Or you might be financially wealthy but spiritually bankrupt. Joseph Murphy discovered that the most fulfilled individuals were those who cultivated this holistic understanding of prosperity rather than fixating on just one aspect. Behind the scenes of genuine fulfillment is this balanced approach to abundance. You could be swimming in cash but still feel broke in spirit if you haven't developed inner wealth. The journey toward true prosperity involves recognizing and cultivating all these dimensions simultaneously. When you speak these three powerful words, let them touch every area of your life, not just your bank account. The transformation accelerates. When you begin applying "thank you," "I am," and "yes" to your relationships, your creativity, your physical vitality, your spiritual connection, and your mental clarity, This comprehensive approach creates a resonance that attracts multidimensional prosperity rather than just financial increase. The insights continue unfolding as you recognize abundance showing up in unexpected forms throughout your experience. Now, let's explore a simple yet powerful practice that anchors these three words into your daily consciousness. Our minds are constantly bombarded with messages of limitation and scarcity, from news headlines to casual conversations to advertising. These external influences can easily drown out your new prosperity declarations unless you create intentional reminders in your environment. The milestone insight that accelerated my results was creating visual triggers for these three powerful words. Write "Thank you, I am abundant," and "Yes" on sticky notes, and place them where you'll see them frequently, on your bathroom mirror, refrigerator, computer, wallet, or car dashboard. These visual cues serve as pattern interrupts throughout your day, gently redirecting your attention from habitual scarcity thinking to conscious abundance declarations. This environmental programming creates a powerful reinforcement for your practice. Each time you glimpse these words, they trigger a momentary state shift, bringing you back to abundance consciousness even in the middle of challenging circumstances. The decisions you make about your physical environment significantly impact your mental environment, creating either support or resistance for your new prosperity mindset. If you've used visual reminders to reinforce new beliefs or habits in your life, type "visual anchors" in the comments to share how this approach has worked for you. Now, I want to address one of the most insidious abundance blockers that might be undermining your practice of these three powerful words without you even realizing it. Comparison is perhaps the most effective way to short-circuit your manifestation process. Yet it's become so normalized in our culture that most people don't recognize its devastating impact on their prosperity frequency. The revelation that transformed my relationship with abundance was recognizing that comparison literally kills confidence, and confidence is the essential fuel for manifestation. Every time you look at someone else's journey and think, "Why is it happening for them but not for me?" You're essentially broadcasting doubt and lack rather than certainty and abundance. This subtle shift in your energetic signature creates immediate interference with your prosperity frequency. Behind the scenes of this pattern is a profound misunderstanding about how manifestation actually works. Your path is custom built for your unique soul journey. Your timeline is divinely orchestrated to bring you exactly what you need for your specific growth. Joseph Murphy discovered that those who experienced the most remarkable breakthroughs were individuals who maintained unwavering faith in their own timing rather than measuring their progress against others. The transformation accelerates when you make the conscious decision to release comparison and trust the unfolding of your unique process. This doesn't mean ignoring inspiration from others. It means recognizing that what appears as overnight success in someone else's life might have required years of inner work that wasn't visible to you. The journey toward abundance requires honoring your particular path rather than wishing for someone else's. You might look at someone else and think, "Why not me? Why are they experiencing abundance while I'm still struggling?" But what if your blessing requires a different route? What if you're being positioned for something 10 times better, but your impatience and comparison are actually blocking the flow? The milestone insight comes when you recognize that trusting divine timing is actually an essential component of your abundance practice. Now, let's explore another critical aspect of working with these three powerful words that many people completely overlook. The universe doesn't understand sarcasm or casual exaggeration. It responds to your words with literal precision. This insight reveals why even seemingly harmless statements can create significant abundance blocks in your life. Think about the common expressions People use without thinking, "I'm dead tired, I'm broke, this is killing me, I can't afford that." Even when spoken jokingly, these phrases are sending precise instructions to your subconscious mind and to the universe about what you want to experience more of. The universe doesn't filter your words through your intention. It simply matches the energy of what you declare. The journey toward prosperity requires becoming much more careful with your casual speech. Instead of saying, "I'm broke," you might playfully say, "I'm temporarily between millions." Instead of "I'm exhausted," perhaps "I'm recharging my energy." These simple adjustments create an entirely different vibrational signature that aligns with abundance rather than lack. If you've noticed yourself using limiting language or making casual negative declarations without thinking, type "mindful speech" in the comments to commit to becoming more conscious of your everyday words.